Now, if you don't know who Darkside Phil is, aka DSP Gaming, really, all you need to know is that he's a washed-up streamer who used to kind of be successful on YouTube. He was one of the early adopters of the whole Let's Play format, used to actually pull in pretty good views, but as YouTube often goes, trends change, things get more modern, people get left behind. And Phil got left behind.
So welcome to the show. Today is Thursday the 13th. We have to address drama. All right. And it sucks. I don't like having to deal with real life drama like this. I don't. Every once in a while, it's cool to just, kind of strike back at those who've messed with you. But in this case, this one is a long time coming. This is something that obviously started way last year. And we kind of have to talk all about that and how we got to this point. But let's just up front take it head on, explain to you what's happened, the fact that my content is about to change. I want you guys to know. And then we're going to kind of go through the history of how we got here. Officially, as of today, I am going to be doing Smart Guys solo starting tonight on the late stream. We're going to see how the show goes. As long as the show still gets some attendance and support, I want to continue it through WrestleMania. Now, you might say, what the hell? What are you talking about? Smart Guys is a co-op commentary show about pro wrestling with you and PPP from Kino Casino. It's been going good. Why would the show's format change all of a sudden? Well, I'm going to give you the answer, but the answer won't make sense until you kind of go through the history. But I'll just say this up front. Absolutely nothing that I'm about to tell you on this show is private information. Basically, my perspective on this whole ride since last summer of what's been going on and how we got to where we got today. PPP.
Phil is just like a no-effort piece of shit. Well, it's true.
Has increasingly started up with rhetoric that's pretty toxic, negative, and insulting towards myself and my family.
Cut! Fat! Cut!
Now, there's a difference between myself and my family. So Kino Casino essentially has done a lot for me. Back when I appeared on their show first in August, which I actually spearheaded by contacting them behind the scenes, which shocked them. They had no idea that I would ever do that. And then got on their show, had that initial interview, made lots more content with them and all of that.
Let's be real. It was always super awkward when we brought him on with me and Andy because he's never been a part of a male friend group and he views anybody who is his friend as a means to an end. It's not somebody that he genuinely cares about. To him, people are tools.
The whole idea was that something very different would come from it than all the other content that has been made, over the years about me, and that it would actually turn into something very different and interesting. Now, since those guys did so much for me, I let them know, listen, I'm not going to have any bad feelings towards you if you guys use me in your content. If you have whole segments on me, ripping me a new asshole, saying my content sucks, saying I suck, I really don't care. Go for it, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to be a dick now just because we did some content together. Now you can't make fun of me. Okay. I mean, that's the whole premise of their entire show. It was all well and good. But if you haven't noticed recently, definitely the rhetoric has kicked up. And in particular, where I started to get wind that this was happening and it really was upsetting me was PPP starts bringing up my wife.
I could have come into his house and fucked his wife.
For those who don't know, my wife Kat has showed up in my content less than 10 times. For many, many years, she never appeared in my content. And then last year, early on, after years of kind of sitting on the sidelines and wanting to be part of the content, but I'm like, man, these fucking idiots are just going to say something. Finally was like, you know what? Who cares? Let's just do it anyway. I'm going to tell you something that I've kind of alluded to. Kat started to experience some health problems. And because of that, her health took a turn for the worse. It wouldn't have made sense for her to start coming on stream with the levels of stress and stuff that she was going through. That's why she disappeared from my content and hasn't come back. We're in a situation where we're already so stressed out about all kinds of stuff going on. And that is one of the many things going on in my private life right now. It's not everything. It's just one of many things. All of a sudden, after weeks of PPP escalating this rhetoric, I've got thick skin. I don't care what you say about me.
A dirty, disgusting, filthy, begging, boring, bum pig. That is Darkside Phil.
But I've spoken with him about this many times. And every time I say, this has to stop, he apologizes. He says, I got too worked up. I got into my rhetoric again. And then some time will pass. And then he does it again.
Point are you going to be a man? But ultimately, I'm just testing him to see where he's at as a man.
He won't stop. He's been doing it nonstop. I'm not going to let a man just publicly bring my family into his content because he feels like whatever, whether it's he thinks it's funny, he thinks it's free speech, he thinks this will get a rise out of me. I can't stop him from doing it. But what I can do is refuse to make content with him. Here's the history And here's why I feel it's gone this way. I reached out to Kino Casino and then they responded and we did that initial content, which if you remember, it was me appearing on their show for the first interview and hangout session, watching and kind of looking at the toxic lol cow content together. And then it was us doing the interview with Josh Moon, the owner of Kiwi Farms. And then it was the co-op gameplay of Chained Together, right? I feel like we struck a hot iron. Everyone was excited about it. Like, holy shit, DSP is actually interesting and entertaining when you give him the opportunity to do these kind of interactions instead of just completely just fucking, deriding him.
Bring him on my show. He's low energy. He seems like he might be drunk or strung out or alcoholic that's taking shot after shot after shot after shot without feeling it.
Let's keep making that fascinating content because Kino Casino is a great middle ground for that kind of content. So we did still try. If you do take a look, I tried to do more stuff with them in October. It didn't really click. Tried to do the whole Gunt Busters event where we were going to go after Ethan Ralph and we all dressed up like the Ghostbusters. It didn't really work because at the time, no one really cared about Ethan Ralph, but a lot of stuff was going on with Review Tech. So when I came on the show, we ended up talking more about Review Tech than Ralph, and then it kind of got derailed and it was confusing.
I didn't come to Phil and ask him to do content with me. Phil came to me and asked me to do content with him. And Phil asked me to do drama content with him about Review Tech USA. And Phil will tell you, I'm not about drama. I'm not about feuding with people, this or that. Let me tell you something. When Phil got the casino bump and the casino boost, Darkside Phil tried desperately to do drama and he sucked and he struck out every fucking time. Total embarrassment. He was a total fucking choke artist.
And then the last thing that I really did with them was the election special, which honestly I thought was fun, but I was already doing my own content and I couldn't just drop everything to be on their show. And I did jump on for a little while and I enjoyed what I did when I was doing it, but I just couldn't be there all night. And that's really where the actual cooperative content kind of ended. We talked, hey, maybe I'll come on the show again. Maybe we'll do something else together, yada, yada, yada. We talked about it, and nothing really happened. And then finally, where we actually did come to an agreement that we thought something that would work was the Smart guys coming back. It's mostly me always talking to PPP. We're the ones who are planning, brainstorming, having the discussions about stuff, content, and stuff like that. This year, discussions began about more content for me to be involved in, crossover content with the casino and stuff like that. Sadly, all those ideas that we had last year are pretty dead. There's no one who wants to come on the show and do a interview/internet blood sport with me. Instead, it's got to be, other stuff. And we definitely tossed around a lot of different ideas. But most of them, sadly, have to do with pure drama. I feel there's 3 routes I can take. Road number 1 is be a complete shill sellout. Take every sponsorship opportunity, kiss every game's butt, say everything is good, give you referral links, ads out the ass, be a complete shill. And I would definitely make bank doing that. Road number 2 is to be a complete drama queen asshole, to regain the King of Hate title, attack everyone on the internet, cause tons and tons of crap for everyone, but in the same time create such a whirlpool, a vortex of drama that undoubtedly everyone would be talking about it. I'd be at odds with everyone. It would be absolutely crazy, lose control, but everyone would be talking about it. Attention out the ass, it would explode. And then there's option number 3, which is the option that I've really been trying hard to work and maintain, is to just be me. To not be fake either way, but instead to just be me and maintain the course that I have. But the only way I'm going to actually be successful at doing that is essentially to have to ask for contributions every single stream, because that's the only way that I'm going to hit goals and be successful, because I'm not getting the sponsors and I'm not getting the drama money. PPP absolutely thinks the best course of action is the drama route. Now listen, I don't have to agree with that content and I don't have to like that content, but I certainly can respect that hustle. I certainly can respect that life, but it doesn't mean I have to live it. Basically, I kind of turned it down, left, right, up, down, in every direction. Not to say that I wasn't willing to play ball or try stuff. I was convinced that, sadly, if I did go as far and do these things that these guys, the stuff that they had these plans for, I was going to have to throw away 17 years of work that I had, put into the blood, the sweat, the tears that I had put into my work to get where I am today. If I go all the way into the drama, 100%, I can't go back. You understand that, right? Like if I 100% become a drama creator, someone who's all about this dramatic content, going at everyone's throat, there's no way that I could continue to also be the chill gamer. It would end, and I would have to 100% change the format and the content, it wouldn't work together.
Let me tell you the worst part about working with Phil. Not that he's like a total charisma vacuum, boring, terrible on-air personality. He has no creativity. He has no original opinions of his own. But the real problem with Phil is the behind the scenes. It's the autistic adherence to the schedule, having to negotiate every single appearance, every single thing, running everything by him. 3 or 4 days of schmoozing back and forth in DMs. Oh, how is this going to work out? Talking about every single aspect of a live stream. How's it going to play out? But it's beyond even that. Like, that's draining. That's exhausting. You have to treat him like a king. It's every day at 4 a.m. This guy gets drunk as fuck on gin. I don't know if he's next to his wife in bed while she's sleeping after her hard day of working fucking retail and then cooking for him and cleaning for him and picking up after him. I don't know if he's in bed next to her or where he is, but he's drunk as a fucking skunk off gin, doing WWE champions polls, messaging me all sorts of sad shit about his life, about how this isn't going right, that's not going right, feel bad for me. What can you do for me? Me. Can you book these guests for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And it's like, okay, come up with a new idea. Then I come up with a new idea. I pitch it to him. He has objection. I overcome then it's another objection. It's always for him a reason to say no. And by the way, a lot of it is sunk cost fallacy, because I went through a lot of shit, all sorts of crazy shit that I went through just to have this relationship with Phil. And I just kept giving and giving and giving.
To be transparent with everyone here, during the fall, when I was during this kind of fluctuating period of doing drama with Kino Casino and still doing my gaming content, many of my viewers, longtime viewers from over the years, reached out to me and said, Phil, we just don't like where we see you going. We understand why you're doing it. Look, you're getting extra views. You're getting extra popularity. People are coming over from the casino and they're contributing to your content. They're making you have the biggest rise you've had in over a decade. So we understand it. It's a means to an end. But we hope that you just don't lose yourself.
This guy had tens of thousands of dollars flooding in when he was at his lowest financial. Estimates are about $40,000 to $50,000. Everything that you've sowed for the last 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, however long it's been of the casino arc, you are now going to sow. All of the old viewers that you alienated by trying to pander to my audience, which you could never have because you're not talented enough, intelligent enough, charismatic enough to entertain an audience as intelligent enough as the one that I have and Steve has, my audience is going to leave.
I've had private conversations with Kat, my wife, about it. We had these discussions like, get it, I'm making more money, but we're already completely stressed out about all of this shit that's going on in our real life. Why do we also need to have this drama shit on the internet? It's like drama in real life, drama on the internet, drama everywhere I turn. And so we talked about it and said, it's just not the right choice. If we go the drama route, I'll be stuck there forever. I won't ever be able to return. That's like, once you jump off the cliff, you can't turn around in midair and climb back up. Every once in a while, it's all right to do some kind of content like that for variety and if it's refreshing or if you know what I'm saying. But you can't just do that constantly. That's it. It's like you're giving up. I've given up on making any kind of stuff that I feel good about or meaningful about. I would like every once in a while, if something stupid's going on and I'm just kind of bored there, I need to vent, that I could just open up his stream and laugh at him for a podcast and then we could just go back to normalcy. But because I work hard, I have the viewer base I have the supporters I have, and that's why I'm still here and I'm still successful. If I were a schlub and I slacked off and I wasn't busting my ass, then I'd be gone. But that's why I have succeeded while everyone else has had to go, I'm the sellout, I'm the drama guy. I haven't had to do that. I don't have to be all in on that shit. You understand? And this year, it really felt like I was getting a lot of pressure from PPP to go all in on drama. And I just didn't want to do it. I said, I'll do this to this extent. I'll do this to some extent. I don't think this is going to work because I think that this is going to leave me in a bad position. It's going to leave me holding the bag of trying to maintain stuff. And I don't know how I'm going to do it because I don't want to make drama content 24/7. And so I think what's happened is over the last several months, since basically none of the idea that PPP came up with, I would really roll with, he soured against me. His opinion towards me has definitely soured and he's very frustrated. He's upset. Now he feels really the only way to move forward is to try to do something drastic. He wanted me to come out today and just explode. You've got to put your foot down and you've got to have some kind of self-respect. And I'm not going to allow the guy to just say and do whatever he wants and think that he has free reign to disrespect my family just because. So that's why I made the decision.
I have to protect my wife. I have to protect my wife. I have to protect my family. I have to protect my family. Ooh, what's going to happen? People are going to, it's hurting my family. It's hurting their feelings. What does he do today to protect his fat wife from being called fat by a fat man? He decides to reveal her medical info. Is that what's keeping your wife safe? Is that what's keeping your family safe? Or is that what you're doing, using your wife as a human shield, using her as a sympathy shield to get pity donations, to get pity support, to make himself the victim? Oh, woe is Phil. Phil has a hard time. His wife is sick. Well, she's 300 goddamn pounds. Of course she's fucking sick.
Christ. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how he kinds to cope, because that's what he's doing. He's coping all over Twitter today, posting up 1 million cope tweets. I don't care. You know, last night I tried to get an answer out of PPP and he refused to answer me. But all of a sudden today he's tweeting. Don't talk to the guy who directly is confronting you for an answer. Instead, go tweet about it hurriedly and scaredly before Phil goes online with his podcast. We had plans, I'm not even kidding you, for at least 2 other projects that I feel at least one of them would have actually worked. It would be cool because you get to see a different side of me, as opposed to just me just sitting here playing games. But now those projects are dead simply because this guy wants to just push the envelope. For what? For what reason? I mean, in my opinion, that's just bad business. That doesn't make sense to me because I'm not burning any bridges here. PPP is the one burning the bridges. He's the one saying the toxic stuff. He's the one bringing up my wife. Not everyone sees things the way I see. Not everyone has the same perspective as me, and that's okay. Everyone's from a different walk of life. And like I said, different places, different age ranges. It's all different. So be it. If that's how he wants it, he can have his way. I've got better things to do than to get into an internet blood sport with PPP over nonsense. Even when, because it's bullshit anyway. It's fabrication. It's not real. It's nonsense. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do the drama content. I work 6 days a week full time. I bust my ass. And for the content that I put out, for as little views as it gets, I still make a living. So I would say that's pretty successful, although it's definitely a different kind of grind that a lot of other people don't understand. I have nothing else to say. The only way that I would ever move forward and do work again with PPP is if he apologizes for insulting my wife and says he will never do it again. Let's try to get it working again. Let's see if I can get it to work. Hold on.
Instead of changing anything about his content, Mr. DSP Gaming came to the obvious conclusion that he is perfect, his content is perfect, nothing needs to be changed there. What he needs to start doing is berating and verbally assaulting the very, very, very small audience that he has left, constantly begging them for money and then complaining like a child when they don't give him enough of it. And as sad and pathetic as it is, that is genuinely all this 42-year-old man is known for anymore. He's basically just a lol cow these days, has been for a long time actually, with what seems to be like half his audience just watching him to make fun of him, and the other half having some like weird Stockholm Syndrome-esque type relationship with him, because for some reason, even though this guy is like a top 10 most insufferable human on the planet, there's a non-insignificant amount of people out there who give this guy money regularly. However, even when people are doing just that after he begs and begs and begs and begs for it, sometimes for Phil, it's still not enough. And just as was the case twice before in the past, that is exactly why we're here today.
Because of Kino Casino, and I appreciate that. I would hope that over the last, 6 to 8 months, you've seen enough of me to now know who I am, what I'm about, the kind of content that I make, and if you enjoy that content, welcome, stick around, let's have fun together. But I do appreciate those of you who gave me a chance, watched the content, have supported it. Obviously, I would hope this doesn't mean that now we're going to see an exodus of people. I have a viewership that I've been building up on Kick since October, and we're getting more consistent viewership over there. You know, I started off with only like 30, 40 viewers. Now we're up to like 60, 70 a stream, and we're still slowly building. I feel like once new releases start coming out and I keep doing content, we'll get consistency over there. Now people are just gonna leave in droves, but you know what? If you do, there's nothing I can really do about it. I don't want to be the guy who feels like he's locked up in his castle surrounded by a moat with a bunch of fucking gators inside, and you know what I mean? I very well could do that because I've done it and I've been successful doing it.
And what's crazy is it's the weird Skinner box that he's plugged himself into has validated that worldview. That worldview has never been challenged because people literally do hand him a living on a silver platter.
So, if any of you were here on behalf of Kino Casino, you're still welcome, but I'm not going to obviously be upset or not understanding if you leave. All right? Done.
He
Exactly.
looks at me and he goes, oh, there's a guy who can fight my battles for me and I can hide behind his skirt and there'll be no consequences. Well, Phil, the consequences are coming now, Phil.
I am begging you, stop supporting this man. He's 42 years old. He's a big boy. He can take care of himself in a way that is not begging for money from strangers on the internet. Like, this guy does not care about you. He just sees you as a dollar sign. And he doesn't even make content. Like, what are you giving him money for? Do you just feel bad? I don't fucking know. I don't like talking about this guy. Ruins my fucking day, man.